The mom accused of shaking her baby to near death was back in court again today. She has a new lawyer and now a trial date. News 13 was in Wilkes-Barre as she faced a county judge.
From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for staying with us tonight at 5:30. I'm Kristen Bazinski. Well, investigators say she shook her 5-month-old baby so hard, causing severe head trauma. The infant also had broken bones. 22-year-old Andrea Vargas remains locked up facing serious charges of child abuse. She was in county court again today, where she was assigned a new attorney and a trial date. Vargas was just in county court back on April 4th, where she asked the judge for a new attorney, claiming the public defender assigned to her was not doing his job. She sent a letter to the judge before that hearing asking for the change in counsel, which today Judge Dave Lupus granted. She told the judge last time she appeared in front of him that what happened to her 5-month-old son was, quote, an accident. It was just about over a year ago when police were called to Vargas's apartment in West Hazleton, where they found 5-month-old Nazea unresponsive. The child was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital, where doctors said they found the baby's brain was bleeding, his skull, ribs, arms, and legs fractured. Vargas at first made excuses for the child's injuries, but after a while she admitted to shaking Nazea on more than one occasion because he would not stop crying. The baby remains in a pediatric nursing home and his condition has not improved. Vargas will be back in court for pre-trial hearings on May 15th. A woman from the Valley stole money from a local charity, a charity that is there to help others when tragedy strikes. 43-year-old Shelly Zito of Drums used to work for the American Red Cross and reportedly stole about $34,500. State police investigators say she would use Red Cross money to buy gift cards as prizes for contests that didn't exist. Court papers say the scheme was found out through a routine audit by the then CEO of the Red Cross's Northeastern Pennsylvania region. Blood region. Zito's budget was found to be in a deficit, and a review of her expense report found unusual spending. Zito was seen on a Walmart surveillance video purchasing gift cards with the Red Cross purchase card and using that purchase card for her own personal use. Her expense report showed line items named contest winners for healthcare workers who won various store gift cards. Zito now awaits a preliminary hearing. We now know more about the new owners of a popular golf course in Greater Hazleton. We told you last week Edgewood in the Pines was changing hands, and one of the new owners is none other than Congressman Lou Barletta. His family built and owned the Drums facility years ago. Oryx Capital Markets of Dallas was the seller of the course, and the name of the new company that purchased the facility is Make It Better LP, made up of 6 partners, including Barletta. The new owners say they will make all needed improvements by the end of this golf season, and they intend to remain as owners for the long term. The Standard Speaker is reporting Stephen Walzer, former general manager and publisher of that newspaper, is one of the 6 partners. Walzer said the group paid $537,500 for the facility and that improvements will begin immediately. Barletta told the Speaker his job in Washington will prevent him from taking an active role, but he invested in Edgewood to keep the facility that his family created from closing. None of the 35 people who work at Edgewood are expected to lose their jobs, and more are actually expected to be hired. Tournaments and events at the banquet hall will be held as scheduled. And for more on the sale of Edgewood and who the other partners are, you can go to thestandardspeaker.com or just pick up today's edition of that paper. If you tune into the Today Show in the morning before heading off to work, you may have noticed a familiar penguin on the show today. Tux, Northeast Pennsylvania's most popular penguin, headed to the Big Apple with News 13 today and made it on the Today Show to show his support for his team, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, who are now shooting it out in the playoffs against the Hershey Bears. Not only was Tux a favorite amongst crowd members, but he even caught the eye of anchor Ann Curry, who gave him a shout out of Go Pens. Tux brought along with him a number of signs, one of the favorites being, "Will work for fish," which attracted a ton of laughs from the live crowd that formed in Rockefeller Center. Tux took many pictures with New Yorkers and tourists and even had some fun with them, pretending to be a statue and, of course, playing those ever so famous Tux tricks. It's safe to say this wacky weather has most of us keeping our fingers crossed for some warmer temps and sunny skies. Will it warm up? We have your weekend forecast coming up. And later, it is either the end of an era for a local minor league baseball team in our area or the beginning of a whole new one. Freddie B fills us in next. Stay with us. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm pleased to have John Curtis joining me now live. He is the music director for Choral Arts of Luzerne County. And if you've never heard of the group, you're going to learn a lot right now, because this weekend there's a performance coming up on Sunday, 3 o'clock at a church in downtown Hazleton. We'll get to that, but first, John, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Tell me what Choral Arts of Luzerne County is all about.
Well, it's a community chorus that is about 4 years old now, which I founded in the Wilkes-Barre area, but we have, as part of our mission, the idea that we would like to serve all of Luzerne County.
Right.
And so many of the choirs in our area serve both Wilkes-Barre and Scranton, but we find that there are no choirs really coming down to Hazleton, so
Right.
we are trying to expand our presence in this area. We are a 50-member community choir that performs classical music, and we do have a few members who are from Hazleton who travel up to Kingston every week and rehearse with us. And now is our chance to come down to Hazleton and give what I think is going to be a wonderful concert on Sunday.
Now tell me about this concert on Sunday. It's going to be vocalists and an organist, and you've been practicing hard for this. It's at Christ Lutheran Church.
Yes.
So what can people expect if they show up at the show?
Well, you're right. It is for singers and organ, and it's called Masterpieces for Choir and Organ. And we have found this beautiful church, Christ Lutheran Church, in downtown Hastings.
Yep.
It's just beautiful. I had never been there before a few months ago, and it has a magnificent organ. So we are going to add our voices to that great organ and sing music that is written for that combination. Our organist is a man named Bernie Gardzala, who is well known in the community, both as an organist and, believe it or not, as an accordion player.
Wow.
Great guy, wonderful musician, and he is just playing the heck out of this music, let me tell you. With the music is very much on the serious side. It's the Missa Brevis by a Hungarian composer named Zoltán Kodály, and a piece called Rejoice in the Lamb by Benjamin Britten. Mm-hmm. Both of those pieces were written during the Second World War, so they are, well, they're not war-related pieces, but
Right.
they certainly have the idea that the war was raging in Europe and England at the time. They're wonderful pieces of music. Beautiful in spots, ethereal, anguished in other places, and really spiritually intense and wonderful music.
Right.
And then we'll finish off the concert with a piece called I Was Glad When They Said Unto Me by an English composer named Perry, who wrote this music for the coronation of English kings and queens. Mm-hmm. It was also sung and played at the royal wedding of Princess Diana and Prince Charles.
Wow.
And then it was played again just exactly 1 year ago for the royal wedding that was held last April.
Wow.
So we're very excited to do this music and very excited to
Awesome.
give the people of Hazleton a chance to hear us.
Yeah, and some very talented people involved in this. So it's going to be Sunday, April 29th, 3 o'clock at Christ Lutheran Church, which
Yes.
is right near City Hall at Green and Church Streets in downtown Hazleton. What do people need to do if they want to come? Just show up?
Well, tickets will be available at the door.
Okay.
It's $15
Okay.
and $10 for students and seniors.
Okay.
So, but other than that, just show up and prepare to hear a wonderful afternoon of music.
Where can people find out more about Choral Arts of Luzerne County?
We have a website, which is choralartslc.org.
Okay.
And that would be the best way for them to find out. We're also on Facebook.
All right, very good. Well, thanks so much, John. I appreciate you coming down. I know you're hard at work rehearsing for Sunday's show, so good luck with the show, and I'm sure we'll see you again sometime real soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Thank you, John. All right, well, doctors estimate that more than 18 million Americans have this disorder that can become serious if not treated. And because many of the symptoms of sleep apnea happen while they're sleeping, it's common for your partner to notice it first. News 13 stopping by the Health and Wellness Center in Hazleton Thursday night, where the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance hosted a sleep apnea program. People who have this disorder stop breathing for 10 to 30 seconds at a time while they're sleeping. Your partner may notice heavy snoring or long pauses in your breathing while you're sleeping. Dr. Henry Smith describes the typical patient.
Well, the typical patient is heavy set, particularly with a thick neck. People that snore, particularly that snore heavily, that's a marker for it. People that are fatigued during the day and are falling asleep during the day. Impotence is an issue with people with sleep apnea. Hypertension, cardiac disease, all of these things are aggravated by sleep apnea. Often it's the spouse that comes to us and says, drags their spouse in and says, my spouse is not breathing at night or stops breathing at night, and I have to shake them to get them to breathe again. And so that's how typically a lot of the patients present to us.
If you think you may have sleep apnea, make sure you visit your doctor. Untreated sleep apnea may be responsible for job impairment and even, believe it or not, motor vehicle crashes. Let's see what Mother Nature has in store for us. More rain, or will we see some sun? I'm hoping so. Before we check out that forecast, take a look at this creative condition sent to us by Kisan Patel. Kisan's a 7th grade student at MMI, and she tells us her picture is of people out in the rain with umbrellas. Let's find out if we need some umbrellas for the weekend. Tonight, not so much. Clear skies. We'll see the wind picking up a little speed out there, but it will be a low down to 27, so bundle up if you're headed out. 4-day outlook goes a little something like this. Saturday, cloudy skies, 47 will be our high. Another chilly evening, 26 degrees Saturday night. Sunday, Monday, look for the sun to be shining. 50 on Sunday, warming up a little bit to 59 on your Monday. Tuesday is when you might want to keep that umbrella handy, because we do see some rain in the forecast with a high up to 63 degrees. So we're getting gradually climbing up back into the 60s here in our forecast. Lazy Dog Salon bringing you the forecast tonight at 5:30 on North Broad Street, West Hazleton. Call 459-0310. And Yevak's Detail Plus Auto Center, 11th Street, North Church Street, between Laurel and Church Streets. Call 450-0959 or 956-0251. All right, the city of Hazleton wants to remind all residents that the street sweeper will begin cleaning up next week. Street crews are asking all residents to move their cars on the day and time that their street will be swept. Signs are posted in the designated blocks that are going to be cleaned. And if your cars are not moved, you will be ticketed. Coming up on News 13 in this week's edition of Health Check, Debbie stops by the Greater Hazleton Health and Wellness Center for a look at their balance program. If you're accident prone, you won't want to miss it. And later, with summer just around the corner, how can we make sure our kids stay motivated, active, and healthy? We'll tell you exactly how next.
New at Treasure Hunt this week, business slacks $10, business capris just $8. Make your man look sharp in a variety of prints, just $6. Here at Treasure Hunt, $4 swimsuits for the kiddos and $2 beach shirts. Check out these long sleeves for just $2, SpongeBob and Ninja. Only at Treasure Hunt will you find different looks every single week with the same great prices. Stop by today on Clay Avenue in West Hazleton.
On today's Health Check, I am at the Greater Hazleton Health and Wellness Center, and I am with one of the physical therapists. This is Conjetta Zola, and she's going to teach us today about the balance program that they have here. First of all, Conjetta, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us.
Oh, thank you.
And I was reading one of your flyers while I was waiting, and I understand that people age 65 and older, one of the major causes of death is when they fall. So balance is very important in our lives, isn't it?
It sure is.
And
yeah.
as we get older, I guess if we do have some issues where we've had surgeries or just the aging process alone, if we have a balance problem, we can be referred here to you. So today I'm here just to demonstrate a little bit some of the things you use to evaluate. So if you want to explain what I'm doing right now.
Sure. Well, the first part of an evaluation is we'll check out the patient's ability to stand and if they can move from one side to the other side, and we call that weight shifting, and if they can weight shift forward and back, and just really what their standing sway velocity is, how steady they are when they are standing. So we have certain computerized tests that help us to do these assessments, so it's more objective, and we have objective numbers to look at and objective information to look at and to show the patient. It's also good feedback for the patient to see as they're progressing in therapy how much better they've gotten from the first time we did them on the initial evaluation.
All right, so I'm standing on a special pad and you have it connected to a computer.
That's
and now upon your starting the machine, you'll instruct me as to what I'm to do.
Right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have you shift your weight from left to right.
Okay.
There's a little picture up there that you'll see that the little gentleman is you, and when you shift your weight, that little person moves from side to side. It's kind of like the Wii. And if you look at that, we want you to move from side to side at the same pace that that yellow sun is moving, and then we'll just set the test and we'll start measuring the time and the velocity that you move at, and this will tell us if the directional speed is appropriate for your age group.
This isn't as easy as someone may think it is, and I don't think I have a balance problem, but you really have to be careful.
Yeah, you have to, be able to look at it and see.
Okay, well, with some of these evaluations you do after you evaluate a patient, then of course you decide what the type of therapy would be.
Right.
And you have many therapies. What would some of those be that patients would learn here that they can then do at home maybe?
Right. Well, we'll put together an exercise program. A lot of it might be strengthening. We might be doing core strengthening if we find that they have weakness in their core, that they tend to bend forward and back more than using their center of gravity, moving it with their central core system. So we might put exercise together. Sometimes and then when we complete the program, we'll very often have them able to actually join a fitness center and continue to exercise on a regular basis.
Okay, and I guess most people need to have a doctor referral to come for this program?
Yes, they do. They're referred by the physician, and then we'll do the evaluation, and we keep in contact with all the physicians. We send them the evaluation reports and updates regularly.
Okay, well, Conjetta, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And if you feel that you are out of balance, make sure you check with your doctor and get referred here to the Hazleton Health and Wellness Center to the Balance Program. I'm Deb Lissant reporting for this week's Health Check.
All right, Debbie, thank you so much. Look at my hair, I'm looking at it. All right, well, the summer months are fast approaching, which with that comes a much needed break from school for all the kiddos. But summer vacation often leads to a lack of motivation. And while it's time to relax, it's also important for kids to stay active during those months. The Hazleton YMYWCA invites you to join them at Healthy Kids Day this Saturday, April 28th. That's tomorrow. It's a free event that features fun and educational activities for families to improve their health and well-being and inspire kids and everyone in the community to stay physically and intellectually active throughout the warmer months. Research shows that kids are more prone to gain weight and fall behind academically during the summer if they're not engaged in activities that stimulate the mind and body. This event will have a bounce house, scavenger hunt, and guess who will be there? Tux the Penguin. For more information, make sure you visit the WISE website or simply just show up. That'll do it for us. Thanks so much for making us a part of your day. Have yourselves a great and safe weekend, and we will, of course, see you back here on Monday, same time, same place. Good night.